So since sharing the news about my decision to dance to the Cha-Cha slide for 24 hours, I've understandably had a few questions coming my way. With that in mind, I want to put this video together to give some answers to some of the common questions I've had, and also show that a little bit of thought has gone into this. And I'm not just making up as I go along, though. To be fair, there is going to be a fair bit of that as well. Before I get into that though, I do just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's donated so far. It's really, really appreciated, and it's kind of blown me away, the amount of support. At the point of putting this video together, we'd blown past the £393 target. I think currently we're sitting just under £500. So the challenge hasn't even happened yet, and we've already got to the target and massively exceeded it. So yeah, huge thank you to everyone who's donated. It does make it a bit more real now, I've got to say, but also the plus side of that is that it's kind of starting to make me a bit determined, while at the same time terrified that the date is getting closer and closer. But yeah, I feel kind of energized, I guess, and hopefully that will fuel me through what otherwise is going to be a really awful, chaotic, any negative adjective you can think of, 24-hour experience. And for anyone who hasn't donated yet that wants to, I'll drop the link in the description below. So yeah, please do take a look, donate if you're able. It's all going to a really good cause. So, on to the questions. There's one question that I'm not going to be answering because the whole of the first video was covering the why are you doing this, how did this come about. So if you want the full backstory, then yeah, take a look at the video that I did before this one. So let's get started. How are you going to keep track of the time? Well, I'm planning on being extremely high tech with this, and I'm gonna try and put a timer like overlaid on the live stream. I don't know a single thing about streaming. I'm still figuring this out. But I'm figuring that should be fairly straightforward. Failing that, I will also have a physical timer that's running during the whole challenge as well. Next question. Are you allowed to stop for breaks, food, or sleep? Unfortunately, it is a no to all three of those. If I sleep, simply put, that is the end of the challenge. If I can't have a break, I can only consume food while I'm still dancing. It's quite a gentle dance, the move, so I'm expecting that I'll be able to grab a bite to eat while I'm doing it. That said, the only breaks that will be allowed are going to be toilet breaks, just for the sake of everyone really, and just means I can keep a little bit of dignity, which would be good considering everything else about this is pretty much awful. And yeah, when that happens, the timer is going to be paused, so I'll pause the timer, I will go, and I will come back, time will restart, the dancing will resume, so do not worry. So in actual fact, the whole challenge itself is going to run over 24 hours if it all succeeds. But yeah, one step at a time. Will you play the exact same track on loop, or can you use variations and remixes? So this is a really good question. I hadn't considered this, and it's potentially a good loophole to try and switch things up a bit. That said, I've not had the time, patience, or, to be honest, any sort of inclination to research all of the different versions of the Cha-Cha slide. I am just going to be doing the original version of the song to keep it simple. That said, maybe there's a smooth jazz version or something out there which would be helpful during the later hours. Don't know, but yeah, it's just going to be the one song. How many steps do you think you'll clock up in 24 hours? So the only reference point I have on this one is I did a little bit of internet research and saw that there was some truly crazy man who did Toto's Africa, danced to that for 24 hours, and he'd reached, I think, over 100,000 steps by the end of it, or close to 100,000 steps. I can't quite remember, but I think we can all agree that's a staggering amount of steps, and it's honestly your feet at that point, your legs are just going to be on a different planet. Another reference point to consider alongside that is that I did run a marathon a couple of months ago now, and after that I'd done about 45,000 steps, 50,000 steps, and yeah, obviously that's a completely different thing, but even still, the idea of doubling that over the course of this challenge is just, it's a bit terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. What are you doing to prepare physically? So in the last month, to be honest, my fitness level has probably just decreased massively. I've not done much in terms of physical activity other than like walking and the odd run here and there. Other than that, I've kind of melted into the sofa a bit, to be honest. So I am hoping this is going to be the start of a bit of a new health kick, and just being able to kick off a fitter lifestyle again. On the lead up, the plan is to just focus a bit on yoga, Pilates, like things that are going to strengthen my core and just help with my movement, and just hopefully mean that I don't injure myself during the challenge, because if I do that, then it probably is going to be game over. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to be wearing my running shoes because they are super comfortable, and yeah, just kind of cracking on and hoping for the best. Do you have people supporting you during the challenge? So short answer to this is yes. I've got a really good group of friends, some of which are free and happy and able to come in to my actual house on the day and support me. I say support, yes, they're hopefully going to be kind of restocking my food station and things like that, but I'm sure they'll also be heckling me and things like that. By the 300th slide to the left, will you start hallucinating? Probably. Which move are you dreading the most? Generally, I think the Cha-Cha slide is quite a gentle song. It's just slides to the left, steps to the right. Like, there are jumps which you're probably going to feel in your knees. I do think the worst move is probably going to be the how low can you go, which happens, I think, once per song. That's, yeah, I think a couple of 100 times in or so, that's not going to be very fun. Do you think you'll ever be able to enjoy the song again? Right, so I'm going to set the record straight on this, because I think I've said this before, but Cha-Cha Slide it's not a song I have particularly strong feelings about either way. So it's not like I'm listening to it every weekend or anything like that. But with that said, I'd say that there's probably a high likelihood that if I do ever hear it again after listening to it for 24 hours, I might involuntarily start dancing, but more than likely I will just shake violently and explode. What are you worried about the most? I think this is a big question. And sorry, this is probably going to be a bit of a rambly answer, but at the same time as doing this challenge, we've been organising a house move, and at one point it was looking like the house move was going to be taking place very, very close to the challenge itself. So literally, like, we have started packing. Like, around me there are so many boxes, there's bare walls and everything, like, and because of that I've not been able to do much preparation, so it's been a bit of a nightmare in that regard, with all the usual life stuff going on as well. So that was the initial concern, was that I was going to be doing this somewhere new or I'd have to move the date, but that's not happening. So beyond that, I think honestly the biggest concern is that I'm going to fail. Um, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I'm not sure what to expect from this. I've not done anything even remotely like this before. There's things that I thought about, there's things that I'm aware of and can't really plan for, but there's going to be things that I haven't even considered. And I'm sure that as I get started, if 3, 4, 5 hours in, I'll suddenly realise, oh, should have done that, should have been aware of this, but I don't have the benefit, and I've definitely not practiced dancing to the cha-cha slide for an extended length of time before. So with that, I'm going in a bit blind. However, I am looking forward to trying this. I think it's going to be absolute hell on earth. So many times I've questioned myself, what on earth am I doing? I genuinely think it's going to be one of the most challenging things I've ever done. But looking forward to giving it a go, seeing what happens, and seeing if a mere mortal really can conquer 24 hours of the cha-cha slide. So on that note, that is probably a good point to close things off. Hopefully this gives a bit more information and answers some of the questions you might have had. The only thing left to say is, again, thank you for all of your support so far. And hopefully I'll see you on the 18th. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.